Hello, friends, and welcome to the channel. This is a question and answer session with me. I'm Dr. Mohsen Raj. I'm a DM cardiology student at AIMS Delhi. So, which means I've completed my MBBS, I've completed my MD, and now I'm a DM student. So, I've seen most of the medical journey. And in this video, I will answer the questions that you have put forth in the different comments to different videos that I put on my channel. Now, I start with I take random questions. I will not be able to answer all of those questions in this video. I'll try to answer them in subsequent videos. The first one is from I am Sudiksha. Thank you, sir, but I realized my class 11th is wasted and I am 12th starts now. If I can start now, will I be able to crack the enough? This is a common scenario that you feel in your class 12th. Now you need to be a bit more motivated, bit more oriented towards NEET preparation, and you feel that you have not prepared well in class 11. This is a common feeling. Even I had this feeling. I hadn't in fact prepared well in my class 11th, and my preparation of the NEET oriented, that time it was not NEET. But anyways, the point is it's very common. Students often tend to miss important topics from class 11th, but the point is, wherever you are, at whichever point you are in that journey, you have to start at some point. You may not have prepared well in your class 11th, but if you're in class 12, that's okay. Prepare that part of the NEET syllabus quite well. And whenever time permits, maybe on holidays, maybe giving extra time, you may be able to revise some of the chapters from class 11th as well. Okay, so the point is, you don't have to lose hope. You still have one full year of class 12th where you can completely understand, read, revise, and practice class 12 topics. And then once you get maybe a month or maybe 1.5 month after your class 12th board exam till the actual NEET exam, you can find time to revise the stuff from class 11th. Okay, I was very much like you. I had missed my class 11 topics, a lot of them, but then in my class 12th I was a bit more serious. I revised some of the class 11 stuff, and after my boards I did revise things from class 11th, and finally got through the JKCT at that time in my first attempt, right? So it's not different. I think it should be manageable even if you start in class 12, right? But ideally, yes, at least 1.5 year of full preparation is needed for getting a good rank in your NEET, for getting a good MBBS college. And I've made a detailed video on this previously, right? Now, there's one more question that I'm going to take here. This is from Bushra Khurshid, that can one continue reading other books, novels, or self development alongside during the months of the preparation? What I find is that they're very relaxing, but sometimes it just becomes addictive and things like that. So now I repeatedly say that you don't have to get yourself fatigued by constantly reading and not relaxing. That's not the ideal strategy. I suggest you read for 6 hours or 8 hours a day, and towards the end of the preparation, that means in the last 2 3 months, I request you to read 10 to 12 hours a day. But even then, you still have 12 more hours in your day. If you read 12 hours a day, you got 12 more hours. If you sleep for 8 hours, you still got 4 more hours. If you eat for 2 hours, you still got 2 more hours. So you got 2 more hours to relax, and preferably you enjoy time with your family. Doing any distracting thing, using social media or reading some novels, it may be okay. It may be okay, but as you were mentioning that getting addicted to this phenomenon, getting addicted to reading such books, spending hours in reading such books, it's not healthy. It is not good for your preparation. So, for example, one might argue that by watching a movie a day, he feels relaxed, but that's going to hurt your preparation. So, you get to do either serious preparation or you get to do full-time enjoyment, but you don't get to do the both at the same time, right? So prepare well and spend an hour or two with your family, with your friends, or just relax and do your hobbies. And if reading novels is your hobby, you can read for an hour a day, half an hour a day. That's okay. Okay. Then another question. Uh, Sir, please tell how to study during internship. I have already completed NEET PG syllabus during my FMG preparation. This is a common scenario, feeling tired during internship. If you're doing internship in a hectic college, then obviously you'll feel tired at the end of the day. You may have to do night duties as well. So you may have to do 24 hours of duty at a stretch. So at the end of that duty, you will not be having energy to study from the books. This is a fact. This is unfortunately true in so many colleges of India where internship is very hectic. Um, well, there is no shortcut to that. But what I suggest is that while you're posted as an intern in your ward, try to learn as much as you can from that posting. Learn from your seniors, learn from your postgraduate students, learn from your patients, read their files, examine your patients, look at the reports of the investigations, examine the x-rays, the CT scans, the MRIs, because you know the INI-CT exam, or even the next exam which is about to come, is going to be a lot more clinically oriented, which means if you're oriented to patients in your internship, if you attend the rounds, if you listen to the discussions on the rounds, you will get to know a lot of things. You will learn a lot of concepts that you otherwise would never learn from any prep ladder or marrow stuff, or by solving an MCQ exam. So that's a benefit of internship if you attend it regularly. But yes, I understand it's very stressful to find time to read from the actual books or find time to give tests. It's a little challenging, but most of us go through the same thing. I have had my internship in a busy college. I had, you know night duties and day duties and so forth. I was in a similar state, but this is true for everyone, so everyone has this limitation. But yes, as I mentioned, as long as you're in the hospital, as long as you're in your ward, you're attending your postings, try to learn there. Okay. Then, sir, which sources you use for your MCQ questions in PG preparations? Marrow, prep ladder, dams. I did not use Marrow, prep ladder, or such stuff at my time. I didn't attend coaching at my time, but yes. And I've had a separate video on that, how you can prepare for these exams of NEET PG or INICT without attending a coaching center, right? I have a separate video for that. But here I tell you that you have resources that are easily available. You've got review books, exam based review books of AIMS questions, or review books of NEET PG questions. They're easily available. You do have questions available. You can practice from those books. You do have subject wise review books. Those books contain 10, 20-year questions from those chapters, from those subjects. So those questions are not something that are like restricted to these coaching centers. They're easily available. And yes, you can join test series from these coaching institutes. You may not join the full course, but you can easily join the test series. That is good. You will get to know where you stand in the competition, and you will get to practice what you actually learn while you are reading that subject. So practice your concepts by giving a test. Read your concepts again by reading the explanation of those answers of the questions given in the test, right? Okay. In fact, I repeatedly say that tests are actually a great way of learning. It's what we call actually active recall, right? When you read a question, you recall a concept, you answer that question. That really, builds up. It strengthens your neuronal circuitry of that concept, right? Okay. Then, sir, is note making necessary till final year? Please reply. Well, this is very personal. I've seen students who read from books, don't even underline those books, and then revise from those books in the exams and do good. I used to read my books, probably underline them, highlight the important areas, and then in the exams, read those highlighted and important marked areas. Or sometimes I might prepare a note for a particular area of a subject. I might prepare a note for very commonly asked questions. So what I recommend is that, see, yes, I understand note making takes time. I understand that note making may not be possible, but you have to identify areas that are very important. You have to identify areas that are being very frequently tested. So you might make your own personal notes for that area, and which is going to ensure that you revise those things very quickly just prior to the exams. But yes, one thing that I'll tell you that you must make notes for are the different things that are very volatile. If you feel while reading a subject that a particular area, particular table, a particular figure needs to be memorized to answer so many questions in your exam, better copy that figure in your notes. These days we have digital notes. Just take a screenshot, put in your digital notes, period. That's there, and you can revise it just before your exams. So things like some difficult subjects, maybe classifications or named things. We've got so many diseases and so many drugs that you have to remember. You can make a small notebook that contains that particular volatile stuff which you easily forget, so that just before the exams, 1 day or 2 day before the exams, you read that volatile stuff, so that you are well prepared for the exam. Rest, if you have something that's concept based, that would probably be a wastage of time if you start making notes for such things, right? So something like pathophysiology, or something like a management plan, or something like the list of causes of different diseases or different symptoms. That's not something you really note down in your notebook as a note. But something like named fractures, the rate limiting enzymes, or something like drug of choice, investigation of choice, something like those sections of forensic medicine. So something like for the other volatile stuff from this preventive and social medicine, the different acts, okay, the different programs, national programs, all such things which are really very volatile material, you tend to forget very easily. You can make a small notebook, write it on that, and done. Okay. Then coming to the next question uh, by Harshita Kondal. So please give us your Ames Delhi room tour. Not now, but I will in future videos will show you my hostel of Ames Delhi. So please make a video on how to read the standard textbook. Okay, so I have already explained this in previous videos, but I'll briefly mention that before you pick a standard textbook and read it, get it marked by a senior, right? Or yourself identify the important topics and mark those important topics on the standard textbook. It may not be possible to read a textbook from cover to cover. And there are, in fact, only few books that you have to read cover to cover. For example, Robbins is there. It's better you read it cover to cover. But for all other books, get it marked by your senior, or use previous year questions to mark those important questions and important areas in that standard textbook. And more importantly, know what is clinically important. Okay, your seniors will tell you that, but if you attend clinical postings and if you see the common cases that are there in the ward, if you mark those areas, read those areas extensively from your standard textbook, that is good enough. Now, exact strategy of reading, well, I'll have to make a separate video on that, how you read a standard textbook to give you the maximum benefit or value out of that text. Then Uzair is asking, I'm confused whether I should take endocrinology or cardiology. I'm interested in both. Well, this is, you get to do one of the two. You cannot be two things at the same time. You cannot be a physician and a surgeon at the same time. You cannot be a cardiologist or endocrinologist at the same time. Whichever you prefer, you have to choose that. You can choose one. And all specialties are good. I would prefer cardiology because I'm fascinated by this subject. Okay, you may be fascinated by different subjects, so follow your dreams, follow your passion, whichever is best for you. I think yes, I'll take a break here, so we'll discuss the rest of your comments in a subsequent video. I hope you liked today's video, and do comment, and I'll try to reply to those comments in subsequent videos. And do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you.